Hi there, welcome to the Brown Lounge. I'm Holly Brown, and this evening I have with me Marlena Sherlock, and Marlena is a personal chef. And while not all of us are lucky enough to be associated with a personal chef or to be able to hire a personal chef, it is really a wonderful thing to do.
Correct.
But I asked you to come in and help me come up with a really great Copper River salmon menu plan, because Copper River salmon is in full swing in Seattle, and you came up with some really great ideas.
Yeah, so I came up with a salmon with an almond vinaigrette, a toasted almond vinaigrette, as well as Israeli couscous with a caramelized fennel, caramelized onion, and wilted spinach.
It's great. Love those flavors. I particularly love fennel, and the fresh tarragon is going to be fabulous. I don't know if many people are used to cooking with the Israeli couscous, which is the larger size couscous. It has such a wonderful texture to it.
It's more like a pasta.
Yeah.
More like a pasta.
Yeah. So before we get started, tell us a little bit about the Lavender Elephant and your business and sort of what your inspiration or vision was for becoming a personal chef.
Well, the Lavender Elephant, those are my two favorite things. So I combine them to do my favorite thing, which is cook for people at home so that they can have a nice warm meal when they get home, or entertain where they don't have to think about the meal, and they can just enjoy their guests.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, Marlena was trained at the Cordon Bleu School, so she's going to have a lot to share with us tonight, and we're going to put together a fabulous meal that you can make at home for your friends. So stick around. We'll be right back, and we'll show you how to make wonderful Copper River salmon with this beautiful Israeli couscous, which I can't wait to see how this all comes together. So we'll be right back. Okay, Marlena, so we're doing, in this case, because we're putting a whole menu together, we're putting step 1 and step 2 and step 3 sort of in the order of the different aspects of the course, right? So step 1 is going to be starting with this beautiful Israeli couscous, which is going to have this wonderful, what do you call it? It's like a caramelized
Fennel, caramelized onion, caramelized apple. Lots of caramelization.
Yes.
Okay. So it has a nice sweetness to it.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got the water boiling back here, right? So the couscous is going to go in the water shortly, but you've chopped up all these vegetables. So why don't we share what we've got, what the proportions are, and obviously there's different sort of chopping grades going on with different ingredients. So want to tell us about that?
So the fennel is just sliced, or kind of a rough chop. I have one apple cut up, just sliced.
And that's a green Granny Smith.
It's Granny Smith. One onion sliced. About 6 ounces of baby spinach, some chopped chives, some lemon zest. We'll use some lemon juice, a little bit of garlic to finish, a little bit of white wine. So we have it all here.
And this is going to be three fennel bowls?
3 fennel bowls total.
3 fennel bowls. Okay. I also wanted to say this. We love to drink our wine when
We
we're
do.
cooking. And Marlena says that she likes to have either a Pinot Noir if you're a red drinker, or
a Sauvignon Blanc if you like white. Chardonnay works well too with salmon.
Yeah.
So
those are all good. I'll drink them all.
Yes.
Well, here's to that.
Cheers.
And then you can show us how to crack open that fennel bowl. Okay.
So we are going to chop off these long stalks. Those are not usable. You can save this for the garnish, which we will. And you just want to slice down into the fennel. You can see the root right here. Just want to cut that out. It's not usable. So you just want to pop that out. And any brown pieces like that you can just slice off, and then we will just chop through it, just a rough chop, and that will break down when you're cooking it. Okay, so our water is boiling, so we're just going to add a little bit of salt to the water, And we're going to add our couscous, which add it slowly, sometimes it foams. And we will add that, give it a little stir. And then we're just going to boil that for about 5 to 7 minutes until it's cooked. So now that we have the couscous boiling, we're going to start caramelizing the fennel, the onions, and the apple. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil to this pan. I have it kind of on a medium heat. And we're just going to add those to the pan. And just a little bit of salt to help them release their juices. And give it a little stir to kind of mix it in.
And about how long is it going to take for these to break down?
You will want to cook it 10 minutes covered until they release their juices. And then it takes another about 20 to 25 minutes after that, uncovered, to caramelize. Okay, so we have our couscous cooked off. It took about 7 minutes. So we drain that and we just put it back in the same pot, and we're just waiting to finish off the rest of the vegetables, which are right here. So these have gone for about 20 minutes. First 10 minutes with the lid on, the next 20 minutes with the lid off, and you can see they've caramelized really well. So now we're just going to finish the caramelized vegetables before we add the couscous. And how we're going to finish that is about 3/4 of a teaspoon of lemon zest. We're going to add that and cook until fragrant, also with our garlic. 2 cloves of garlic, and that'll take about 1 minute. When you start smelling it, you know that you cooked it to the right amount. You don't want that harsh garlic edge, but you don't want it to burn as well. So you just mix that in. We are going to deglaze this with a 1/4 cup of just white wine. You can just add that. Mix that in. You might turn your heat up a little bit. You want to cook it off just a little bit. And then we're also going to add just a little bit of lemon juice. About half a lemon would be good. So about 2 tablespoons total. And let's see, those seeds fell in, but we'll just get those out. So we are going to add about 6 ounces of spinach, just baby spinach, to the pan, and we will let that wilt. So we'll just cover it for about a minute, and the spinach will cook so quickly and wilt so quickly that you just don't want to walk away from this. So the spinach has wilted, so we've let that go about a minute, and we will mix that kind of all into the caramelized vegetables. And now, since this pan is a little bit smaller, we're going to go ahead and just add this to the bigger pan, which had our couscous in it, and finish it there. This will just dump right in there. That's all flavor. And what we'll do is we'll finish this with about 1 tablespoon of olive oil and about 1/4 of a cup of fresh minced chives. You just add that in, and a little bit of salt and pepper to finish it. Say about a teaspoon of salt, maybe half a teaspoon to 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and you will just mix that right in.
And step 2 is to make the vinaigrette that's going to go onto the salmon.
Yes.
So tell us what's in this, and this looks like a pretty easy step.
Yeah, it's a simple vinaigrette. The best way to do it would be in a blender or a food processor. You don't have to worry about whisking so much.
Okay.
So it'll be, you just add 3 tablespoons of white wine vinegar into the blender.
And I see you're measuring very precisely.
Yes, I mean, this can be kind of just, we always just eye it, that's the last of mine, so we will just do that.
Great.
Just about a tablespoon of water, 2 teaspoons of Dijon, so close to a tablespoon, about, just make it a little sweet, about 2 teaspoons of honey, and about 2/3 of a cup of the olive oil. And you just...
So you're eyeballing that too?
I am.
Okay, good, good. So in the meantime, we've got the oven on at 500, right? And we've actually got the pan that we're going to cook the salmon on in the oven, getting heated up to that 500-degree oven as well. So that's going to be another process. But while you're doing the vinaigrette, we want to make sure people know they want to heat the oven.
Go ahead and preheat your oven to the 500 degrees with your pan in it. And so we just do the liquids, and then we'll just blend them. And that'll just make a creamy vinaigrette style dressing. So we'll just add that to the bowl. And we are just going to add about half a cup of the oven toasted almonds that are kind of crushed up. You can do that in a Ziploc bag. It makes it kind of easy. Just put them in there.
And those were sliced almonds. We did it for 350 degrees at about 10 minutes.
Yeah, about 10 minutes. Okay. And then I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of some ground fennel.
And so people can just buy the fennel seed and then grind it up themselves, right? So I just kind of do that.
Exactly. I don't think it comes ground, so you'll probably have to do it yourself, but it's pretty easy.
Okay.
And then we have 1 shallot, which is basically half a shallot, and I just minced that. And 2 tablespoons of tarragon, which will be your main flavor in your vinaigrette. And you just kind of mix it up. And you can refrigerate that until you're ready to serve it over the salmon.
That is beautiful. Oh, it smells delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're going to get that little, you're going to get the little crunch from the toasted almonds. Okay, I can't wait. This is going to be so good. I'm so excited.
So now we're going to finish the salmon, which is very easy. We're just going to coat the salmon in a little bit of olive oil. So you just drizzle it on. Don't be afraid to use your fingers. Just kind of rub it in on each side. And then we're going to go ahead and just salt and pepper the salmon. So now we're going to pull our pan out that we've been preheating in the 500-degree oven. And right now we're going to turn it down to 275 so we don't forget. Then we will place our prepared salmon just directly on the pan. You can hear it searing. That's what we want. We want it to sear like that. And we will cook this in the oven at 275 for 9 to 10 minutes, careful with your fingers, until it's medium rare to medium, depending on your preference. It took about 13 minutes to cook, but these are larger fillets. So when you turn the oven down, sometimes you have to fiddle with it.
Gorgeous.
So that is what the salmon will look like. You do want to check the center with a paring knife. Just look and see if it's done in the middle. You want it a little bit rare in the middle, and that'll be your hint that it's perfectly cooked.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll just put kind of 1 heaping spoonful of the couscous, and we'll take a nice fillet of salmon.
That's gorgeous. And I just wanted to say we did do serving for 6 people, just assuming that you have a dinner party for 6. And our sizing on the fish was about ½ a pound per person.
Yes,
right.
We did it large, but you can do it definitely a little bit smaller. It cooks a little bit faster.
So we just did a little bit of quickly broiled asparagus, and this is just olive oil with whatever you like. We used herb de Provence. We used a little bit of fresh herbed salt, as well as some pepper. You can do garlic powder, whatever your palate likes. And then just did that in a 400-degree oven for about 5 minutes.
And you just finished the salmon off. You just want to coat it right before you serve it. You just want to glaze it with that. It does mesh well with all the flavors of the couscous.
And just the colors are beautiful. I mean, the colors of the couscous with the tarragon, oh my gosh, it's so fantastic. One of the wonderful things about this is you can make the couscous ahead and serve it at room temperature. Just gorgeous. So thank you, Marlena.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And if you ever want a personal chef, call Marlena. You can find her on the web at thelavenderelephant.com. And as always, come visit the Brown Lounge often. Of course, follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. You know the drill. Enjoy, and we hope you enjoy your next dinner party.